But the problem is they're being ambushed right now by, in many cases, paid protesters.
And here's the reality. 7 million followers. Whether you think it's cringe or you like it, we're on CNN on a Thursday night, and we're talking about it on national TV.
I don't get it. I don't.
I think Biden's industrialization strategy was to industrialize more government.
Democrats struggle with an effective media strategy. They used to run Hollywood. They owned media. And now this is about their loss of grip, of control of what goes before your eyeballs. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Here's a little bit of Mike Johnson on how effective it is for Republicans versus Democrats to communicate with you, the populace, on getting our ideas out. Now, this is how all the messaging goes in and out of all of our ideas. Democrats are having trouble. Republicans are doing well. Let's watch.
But with regard to the town halls, look, I mean, we have Republicans who want to go out and be among their constituents and hear their concerns and dialogue with them. It's a big part of the job. But the problem is they're being ambushed right now by, in many cases, paid protesters. You got George Soros-funded groups. They're very well organized. That's one thing Democrats do very well, is this organization, right? And they go an hour or two early before the event. They fill all the seats. And so the actual constituents of these Republican members can't actually make it into the arenas. And so it's not a productive dialogue at all. They're just walking into an ambush. So we've encouraged our members to think thoughtfully about that. There are a lot of ways now with technology to be in constant dialogue with your constituents. You can do telephone town halls and get 10,000 people on the phone at the same time. You can have small group meetings with industry or organization groups or various parts of your community, and to be very productive. So we want to do the job, do it well, do it efficiently and effectively, and walking into a stage production like that doesn't serve anyone's interest.
But let's look at one of those stage productions on what not to do. Here's this cringy Democrat video called the Choose Your Fighter video, where they set up AOC and a bunch of Democrats in these fight poses like you're choosing your fighter in a Street Fighter video game. They're going, we'll connect to the video game, kids. I'm going to turn the volume down only because it has copyrighted music on it, but there's no actual words on it. That's Jessica Wu, and they have the weird video game wings. There's AOC, and they're each picking very weird video game character poses. Look at, there's Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, get her. Susie Lee. So effective. Choose your fighter, because the Democrats are fighting for you. Here's the fallout on that with Scott Jennings over on.
How you do something creative, you're going to get criticism, right? But I actually applaud them for trying to do something different. And here's the reality. 7 million followers. Whether you think it's cringe or you like it, we're on CNN on a Thursday night, and we're talking about it on national TV.
But I guess my question is, to what end? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, maybe you will get 7 million eyeballs, but what is the point?
It had a massive backlash. Everyone made fun of it. It was instant cringe. And she's going, well, it got 8 million views, even though it's cringe.
I am not accustomed to helping your party do anything.
Yep.
But let me give you some advice. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And if you read the comments today, Lord have mercy. Look, scrambling for new social media and communication strategies is not a replacement for fixing what's actually wrong. Your party has a 21% approval rating right now, Congressional Democrats.
Well, let's talk about fixing what's wrong. Donald Trump is doing nothing for the American people.
And he has a 50% approval rating.
But he's doing nothing for the American people.
And so
he's not lowering the cost of living.
He
tells lies.
Fix the policy and leave the gimmicks behind.
Yes,
and look at her. She's not even accepting. He was trying to give her advice. He was trying to help her. She's not listening. Blah, 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 blah. We'll keep doing it. By the way, if congressional Democrats are at 20%, probably AIDS is more popular than Democrats at this point. Now, speaking of, here's Stacy Abrams being terrible.
One of the ironies of the attack on you, and I'm going to play what he did, was that my understanding is that the program at the source of this whole thing is a program to lower costs for people. Do I have that top line correct?
You have it absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm gonna play what he had to say, and then I'm gonna ask you to explain what the program is that was such an obvious, ludicrous laugh line for the Republicans there. Take a listen.
This is about the $2 billion, $1.7 billion they're saying here, in aid that went through Stacy Abrams in Georgia, that is largely an environmental grift. So she's being investigated, and they're here defending it on MSNBC.
$1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee.
Decarbonization of Homes Committee. This is part of the philosophy that went into removing gas stoves from your kitchen and refrigerators and all that, replacing appliances with green appliances. So this is another corrupt spending scam of redistributing taxpayer dollars to pay for swapping out Stacy Abrams' constituents' appliances for the Green Party cult.
Headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacy Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Remember, when Biden left the office, they took this money and jammed it into these new kinds of charity accounts. So the government knew they were going to lose their money under Trump. So they quickly took this money, hid it in some kind of a charitable, non-government organization, an NGO, so that they could hold on to that money and still pay out their socialist agenda without having the Trump administration be able to have a say, which is anti-democracy and anti-what we voted for.
Okay, so what is this organization? What is your relation to it, and what does it do?
In 2023 and 2024, I led a program called Vitalizing DeSoto. We worked in a tiny town in South Georgia to demonstrate that by replacing energy inefficient appliances with efficient appliances, you can lower your cost. And in fact, we accomplished that. For 75% of the community, they got appliances that are lowering their bills right now. We had one woman who saw her electric bill cut in half from $180 to $98. That's what we delivered. And based on that program, a coalition of organizations, famous organizations, came together and said to the EPA, if we can do this here, we can do this for millions more Americans. Let us invest the money of America in lowering the cost for Americans. And the EPA said, okay, great, go.
Holy cow, this almost got rolled out to all of America. They took a tiny town, replaced their appliances. It costs $1.9 billion, and they were ready to roll this thing out all the way across America, spending that money that would never make up for the amount of money that it costs, right? They're claiming it's going to lower the cost of people. And this is also buying them new appliances. So this is no different than the Obama phone. If I vote for Obama, I'm going to get me an Obama phone. And now you get a Kamala Harris toaster or an Abrams toaster. So it's buying votes. That's what this is. It's a new form of laundering. Now, here's Scott Jennings. We have to do, this is like, I don't know how many Scott Jennings videos there are, but he's so good. Let's take a look on helping Democrats with their failing strategy. They don't have the issue.
Reindustrialization. But boy, it's a tough thing to do. You have to do it carefully.
I think Biden's industrialization strategy was to industrialize more government. I mean, a lot of jobs created government during Biden.
America brought back a chips industry in 18 months.
What was the announcement this week? That a chips maker from Taiwan is opening up a massive operation in Arizona. What was the auto industry announcement this week? That Honda is putting a plant in Indiana. $1.7 trillion already in announcements from this administration on investing in the U.S. economy. I agree with you, what you said earlier, reindustrializing, juicing American manufacturing. It is a worthy goal. And that is the mission of the tariff plan. He strongly believes in tariffs. And if they're slapped on over a long period of time, we'll see if he's right.
I just want to point out the difference between, Biden had these job numbers, but as they're looking back at the Biden job numbers now, most of them were government jobs. So they spent $1 trillion to pack Democrats into government jobs that are not free market jobs. Trump's jobs, that this new over $1 trillion in new jobs coming into America, including Apple, and you just now mentioned that Honda plant, and a chips manufacturer from Taiwan coming into Arizona to make chips that we badly need, so we're not reliant on China for those chips. These are free market. They're not government jobs. It's actual free market stuff. So that's the difference. Even Biden's job numbers were a massive scam.
But the governor,
it's one tool.
The governor is exactly
I
right
guess you
about
guys are defending a tariff strategy that's actually not being put in place.
It's not a
The
strategy.
tariff strategy that you're describing is Trump saying, I believe in tariffs carte blanche. Let's just put them on there. But what he's actually doing is saying tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day. Tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day.
He's trying
if he really believed in what you were saying, he would just stick with his strategy. He's not doing it.
He's trying to find the sweet spot with countries and industries. And he said today there will be no more extensions past April.
Look, tariffs are a manipulative strategy. They're not free market. They're how you get other countries to lower their taxes. So you threaten them, you put them out there, and then you don't really want to back them up. It's not a principle where you go across the board, here come the tariffs. That's not what Trump is doing with tariffs. They're a bargaining tool. It's not an absolute. So that's the explanation for why he's doing tariffs. Thank you guys for watching. Just giving you a quick update on the economy. I'm Doug in exile.